So like I said, I wasn't sure I really wanted to do this video just because I don't like putting my business out there. But I thought, based on conversations I had, that it would be helpful for small business owners like yourself to learn how to build a small business without taking on debt or too much risk or even having to raise capital. And so, what I've done over the past few years could be helpful for you to learn from because I made a lot of mistakes and it was not easy. And yes, by the age of around 30, I had three businesses doing over $100,000 per month in revenue. And to get there, it took some time. It's not going to happen overnight. There are learning lessons you'll take from this. And I kind of broke it down into 8 key learning lessons. And, I might get interrupted throughout this because it's busy running multiple companies, let alone one. So the three companies, for the record, are Momentum Digital. I've been working on that agency. It's a digital marketing agency for small business owners. Been doing that since 2015, 16. And I was previously working for Google before that. I come from sort of a blue collar small business background, went to Penn State, studied advertising, business, and entrepreneurship. I actually started my first business in college at the age of 21 maybe. First legitimate business with an actual LLC, for that matter. I was always more of a hustler entrepreneur, selling baseball cards and doing things when I was a kid. But I started a party services company when I was 21 with my friend Keith. Shout out to him. We bought and renovated a Sprinter bus and converted it into a transportation party bus. So it all starts back then, but getting into it, now I have the marketing agency, Momentum Digital. We've got the sister brand, Momentum 360, that Sean and a couple guys run, that's taken off. And we have Phone Repair Philly that I've been building since 2016 as well. And, I've previously been in the repair business since college, age 22, built that up to, 5 figures a month in college, making good money before I got, graduated, major, double minor, got recruited by Google, went to work for Google, learned a lot about Google search engines and digital marketing. And at that time, I had sold the first repair business for a small amount of money, started a second one because I was bored with the 9 to 5. Like, I could do more than that. Like, as an entrepreneur, you might learn more about yourself, which is part of this, is understanding yourself, your motivations, your mindset, your capabilities. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. That's one of the biggest takeaways is I don't really do this, do what I do for money. I really don't. I do it to see what I'm capable of. And I think that's one of the biggest things, whether you're an employee, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a leader, and it can be difficult. It puts a lot of, stress on yourself. And it's kind of like what David Goggins says. Shout out to David Goggins. Check out his video with Joe Rogan. He is the human definition of pushing yourself to the limit and not taking or making any excuses. And we all make excuses. I do it daily. There's things we don't want to do that we have to do. As an entrepreneur, you're never really told what to do, so the ball is in your court. And I'll walk through some of the key learning lessons that I sort of have jotted down, that I can share and put into more of a written blog format. And we'll get some questions asked along the way too. So by the age of around 30, 31, I had 3 companies doing $100,000 a month. To reiterate, Momentum Digital, Momentum 360, Phone Repair Philly, check them out. The Momentum brands are similar. Phone Repair Philly is obviously in a very different industry. I've got 4 retail locations, and that was, it's been very difficult, to say the least. So fast forward things, I was at Google, started another phone repair business. I was part of a Vortic Watch startup company that I exited, still have some IP, some patent technology, sold that, got out, got fired from Google, which is another story if you want to check out this video, my full video explaining that story and sort of my path here. and started fresh. I sold that second repair business, sold my equity, got fired from Google, started the agency, and just learned through self-education. So that's one of the main things I want to touch on is self-education. College is overrated and overpriced. I don't care who you talk to, unless you're going to be, a lawyer, a doctor, a dentist, something that needs formal education and secondary, grad school, PhD, etc. A lot of undergrad isn't necessary to build a career, even though they say it is, or I'm sorry, not to build a career, but to build a business. Yes, having an MBA from Penn, going to Wharton is going to help if you want to have, a 7-8 figure company and to learn a lot about accounting and finance. But self-education is extremely important and easily accessible. I swear to you, 90% of what I know, I've learned from YouTube, which is free. My YouTube videos, they're all free. A lot of the education on marketing and SEO that I put out, it's all free. So I didn't pay anything to learn skill sets that have built 7-figure companies. And we're still just getting started. I have a ton to learn. There's a lot that I can learn, and I'm consuming every day. I consume more than I create, and I'm trying to start creating just as much as I consume, which is important. We do a lot of content creation when it comes to training, which is one of the second points I want to make, is your people and training them in putting together a really good team and making sure they are well trained and on board with your vision and culture. I've literally hired, trained, and fired, maybe not fired, but hired and trained hundreds and hundreds of people in the past 7 years, 7-8 years. Whether they're interns, part-time, contractors, full-time. And it's gotten easier because of the learning lessons of knowing when to hire, they say, hire slow, fire quick. You don't want to hire somebody right away because they might not be a good fit. You do want to let somebody go right away if you do notice they're not a good fit for your culture or their growth potential within your company. And so there's a lot of places you can hire and recruit from. Well-Found, previously Angels List, is a really nice one for high-level executives, management team. Indeed and, the monster.coms of the world, they're solid for, just general employees and contractors. Obviously, you have LinkedIn and Facebook jobs. There's a lot of places you can post and recruit and hire from. Eventually, you want to get to the point where you have these processes in place to screen people out, to have them answer questions, to give them homework assignments, and to make sure they understand your values, vision, and culture. And we're still perfecting this as well, but that's the second point, is really your team and your people. We have a great team. I've been fortunate enough to get a really solid foundation with Momentum and 360 and Phone Repair Philly. And so that's leading into my next topic, is your partners. So your people in your hiring and your processes are very important, but you can't build multiple companies at once unless you have a lot of funding in resources. So resources are key because they allow for human capital, financial capital, marketing, and much more. So partners would be the third thing that I think is one of the biggest game changers for me, taking my companies to 6 to 7 figures, because I was doing way too much on my own. And sorry, I'm not Elon Musk or Jack Dorsey. They've raised hundreds of millions of dollars to build multiple companies simultaneously. But if you're a small business owner, imagine you just trying to build your one company. It's incredibly difficult. So building 2 or 3 at the same time was impossible. I couldn't do it, and I was failing, and I was sad, and I got depressed for the second time in my life because I was starting to think of myself as a failure. COVID was just hitting. I was getting a tax audit from the IRS. I had a previous partner steal from me. I'd been burned many times. I had people quitting on me. People didn't want to work due to COVID. And so during this time, I saw who stuck by me, and I promoted from within. And so Sean had been with me for 2 years at Momentum, started as an intern his junior year, and just proved himself. So that's so key, is finding out who really cares, because you can't make people care and you can't teach work ethic. So those are two of the things I'd look for if you're looking to promote from within. Things can be learned, things can be taught, but you can't teach the work ethic or attitude, of someone within your team, And so those are good methods and principles to hire and to promote from within. And Sean was promoted to a partner, and then he bought into the company. And so, now we're building a company, and I have somebody that I can feed off of, that I can teach, that I can learn from, that I can coach, someone who, it's important to have a partner because you have somebody who's kind of like your ride or die, like someone that's in there in the trenches instead of someone you're just paying to do a job. So someone that really cares about your business. And so that's vital. And with Phone Repair Philly, I did the same strategy. I took my number one guy, had been there 2-3 years, who was loyal, responsible, faithful, and promoted him from within, made him a partner, bought into the company, and we took that from 6 to 7 figures. And then we've just hired from within people that care, people that hustle hard and get the vision and culture. So partners is number 3. But during that 2020 period, what I did was focus. So focus is very important. And it's something that I struggle with more than anything, because we've got all this technology, we've got these notifications, my phone's blowing up right now as I'm doing this video. So focus is one of the most important things to focus on. And what that means is you need to block out everything else if you want to achieve something that's vital for your growth and success. So for me at that time in 2020, what I did was I focused on one business at a time. I let everything else fall by the wayside. I swear to you, this time 3 years ago, Momentum Digital did $10,000 a month. And that's because I let it fall aside. We just kind of tried to keep some retainers and clients afloat. And now we're doing well over 6 figures a month. And so we're probably at a 14x growth since then in 3 years. We just won 12 fastest growing business in Philly. And what got me to that level was focus. Doing one thing very well at a time with focus, blocking out all the externals, and really honing in on that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference for you today. Do the most difficult thing first. What that was for me at the time, after the partner situation, or before the partner situation actually, was for me to put these systems, processes, and procedures. So that's the next thing. Focus, and then systems, processes, and procedures, which can be automations, it can be software, it can be checklists, it can be to-dos, it can be training, it can be HR. So we put together all these things: documents, checklists, training videos, procedures, automations like things using Zapier to connect various softwares, email scripts and campaigns, call tracking systems, marketing systems and operations, training manuals, literally everything, because screw it, I wasn't gonna fail. I'm going all in. And so that was highly important. And then I could use that to grow the team and to automate things. So that was obviously important. So definitely focus on focus and do the most difficult thing first with that. And then build out the systems, processes, and procedures, call it SOPs. Next is networking and relationships. That is vital. It's never going anywhere. Your number one customer is always from word of mouth. It's hard to do sometimes, but you don't really have to convince them. The second thing is SEO. So if you're trying to rank higher on search, that is the second best form, because it's basically a referral from Google. Now, networking relationships, that's something I've always took pride in, that I've let slip actually over the last probably 2-3 years, because I've been so focused on business. Previous years, I was much better at the networking relationships, and you can find these opportunities through, Facebook groups, Facebook events, business networking events. There are chambers of commerce, there's the SBDCs, there's the SCORE, local chapters of different communities, there's Eventbrite, there's tons of, you have the internet. Just use the internet, find out business networking events near me. And you can figure it out. It's not difficult. But then show up and be present. With show up and be present, follow up, and get social. So network and be present is like, don't be on your phone. Only when you get their contact information, follow up immediately with who you are. Maybe put a meeting on the books to get coffee, and then get social with them. Follow them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, DM them, engage with them, and stay on top of it. You never know how that relationship can turn into a new client, residual work, and referrals from them too. So that's huge, that's key, and you can hire and find a lot of good people to join your team from that too. Mindset. Mindset is big. That's something I struggle with, everybody struggles with, is getting through the tough times, staying motivated, staying hungry, but humble as well. Mindset is something that's hard to coach and teach, but I was really going through a tough time in 2018 when businesses were failing. I made a lot of bad decisions. And then 2020, obviously with COVID, it hurt again. But mindset's what got me through that. And really that's internal more than anything. There's a lot of external things that could help. Podcasts, audiobooks, you have the classics like How to Win Friends and Influence People, or the E-Myth, or Think and Grow Rich. There's a lot of classics out there. But there's a lot of podcasts that help too. Like even listening to the David Goggins example I gave you, realizes that you need to callous your mind and have real conversations with yourself. And for one, you just want to make sure that entrepreneurship is for you, because it's not for everybody. It's very difficult and it's very lonely. So your mindset is so vital when it comes to understanding yourself and pushing yourself to do things you might not want to do, things you don't think you can do, and just really fighting through tough times, which is also where having a good, network and relationships comes in as well. So your mindset can be cultivated through education, through consistency, and through discipline. So keep that in mind when it comes to mindset. Two more things and we'll wrap this up. I appreciate it if you've made it this far. If you have, I want to give you a free one-on-one hour-long sit down, whether it's a Zoom or in person, to talk about you and your business. It means a lot to me that you've watched this far, because this is, me putting myself in vulnerable situations where I have to talk about messing up, and we should all do that as entrepreneurs. Moving on, let's talk about marketing and SEO, because obviously that helps you grow businesses. You need to have sales, marketing, and SEO. But marketing for us, networking and relationships counts as marketing and sales for one. Search engine optimization is one of the main catalysts for our growth and success. If you look for cell phone repair shops, Philadelphia, iPhone screen repair near me if you're in Philly, or digital marketing agencies, Philadelphia, SEO marketing, Center City, virtual tour providers, Philadelphia, our businesses will pop up guaranteed on the first page of Google. That's free marketing, that's free advertising. But obviously running a marketing company helps us know a lot more about marketing and who you decide to work with when it comes to marketing, whether you're hiring in-house, hiring a marketing agency. You can waste a lot of money. You can make wrong decisions. Here at Momentum, we take pride in working with people on a personal level, a relationship, and growing your business, and taking pride in that conversation, in that communication, in making sure that you actually get results. And so for my businesses and our companies here with my partners, marketing is a key facet, and social media is huge now. Obviously, we're doing content like this. We're making YouTube reels, etc. But your marketing mix and your marketing methods are the catalyst that can take you from A to B when it comes to increasing revenue. But then you also need to think about fulfillment. And that's where your systems, operations, procedures, and your people in hiring comes into play. Last but not least, hard work. That's how I got here. That's how a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners got to where they are. Nobody will tell you different. And nothing comes easy. Nobody gets here by chance. Nobody gets here by luck. Whenever you have a business, at some point, you could have even inherited it, but the business isn't going to maintain unless you're putting in some hard work to some capacity. I've consistently clocked 80 hours a week for the past 7 years. In 2018, surprisingly, when I was failing, I was clocking 100-hour weeks, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. I bit off more than I can chew, which is why that focus is so important. Now, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, 168 hours a week. I'm not saying you need to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week like I do. What I am saying is you need to work hard, whether it's focusing during the time you are working or just putting in a few extra hours. I tell my guys the weekends when we get ahead. Now, you can have weekends off, but you can crack out a few hours of work on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. If you're not doing anything else or don't have plans, instead of just sitting there and watching Netflix or just goofing off. I like to work, so what's important is caring about what you do and loving what you do, because then it's not work. This is life to me. This is my lifestyle. It doesn't mean I don't have fun. I don't have that many hobbies, to be honest. I play soccer, I go to the gym, I care about fitness, and I go out sometimes, but work is my lifestyle and I love what I do. And if you put in more hours than the next guy and you're doing the same things, inherently you will grow at a faster rate than them, and you will build a faster business and you'll be more successful. And so you can't teach somebody hard work. You can't teach somebody the work ethic or to care. And I care that you watch this video, so I appreciate it. Those are the 8, 9 lessons, not sure how many they were. Thanks for watching. This is how I was able to grow 3 companies to 7 figures a year, 6 figures a month, within a 5-6 year period. And hopefully we take them to 8 figures per year. That's the plan. And I hope this was helpful for you. If it is, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out some of my other videos. And if you need help growing your business, let me know. So see you next time.